Okay, all right. So today we're going to talk more about domain and range, and more specifically, what's an appropriate domain and range given the situation. So it's a lot of word problem, a lot of reading, and a lot of real world situations out there in which you need to determine what the domain could possibly be and what the range could possibly be. Okay, all right. So let's go. Okay, all right. So here we are now. As you can see, right, domain and range requires you to have some sort of understanding of what this chart is again. Now, this was basically our first lesson of the school year, okay? And I'm not gonna go into this at all because one is you should have remembered it, right? And two is if you don't remember it, there's a lesson. It was the first lesson of the year, okay? So I just wanna like throw this out there just so that you can see like that this is where we're heading, okay? Just to get your mind in the right place. All right. So now, how do you choose appropriate domain and ranges, right? So I'll just read this real quick and I'll highlight it as I read. All right. So here it says, right? Many functions make sense only when a subset of all the real numbers are used as input. So what's a subset of real numbers? Right here, this crew right here. Right here, like everything that's inside. Okay, so sometimes rational numbers are useful. A lot of times it's just integers, right? Meaning this, right? Integers mean positive or negative. Whole numbers mean just positive whole numbers, right? Natural numbers, right? Like not including zero, right? Like 1, 2, 3. So you can't have zero. And with rational numbers, what does that mean? Yeah, decimals and fractions, right? What situations is it possible for you to have decimals and fractions? Okay, this subset of the real numbers makes sense is known as the domain of the function. So now, this part, right, makes sense. This has to make sense. Okay, so, all right. So now, I need to give you two definitions, not to the degree that you have to memorize it, but you just have to be familiar with it so that if someone were to mention discrete function or continuous, you would know what they're saying, okay? Now, very quickly then, right, a discrete function, right, and this is this is like the perfect day to bring this up because we are doing word problems, all right? So discrete function means it's not, okay, I was just gonna say it's not a continuous function, meaning, right, the data points, they are not continuous, meaning like they are whole numbers or integers, okay? So meaning, right, you see how these dots aren't connected? That's on purpose because look, right, I don't know if you can see this. So if we're comparing like tickets, right, why do tickets have to be whole numbers? Yeah, because you can't buy half a ticket, right? On the other hand, right, time over here, time is continuous, right? So it's a straight line that's connected because you can have an hour, right? You can have 2 hours, but you can have 2.5 hours. You can have 2 hours and 5 minutes. You can have 2 hours and 1 minute, right? You can have 2 hours, 1 minute and 29 seconds, right? So on and so forth, right? Right? People, right? Right? People come in whole numbers, right? Like, so there's 1 person, 2 person. There's no 2.5 people, right? Age, though, is continuous, right? By the way, I don't know if you've noticed, like, there are 3 instances of time where time is continuous. So I think they're trying to make a point here, okay? All right, so that's the difference, right? Continuous, connected through, keeps going and going, possibly, but more importantly, right? They include everything in between, right? They're perfectly inclusive, right? Whereas discrete, right? Most of the time, they really only can take whole numbers, right? Or integers, okay? So with that said, we're just gonna practice. Let me get the lights. So let's take a look at some examples, okay? So let's go over one with you guys, all right? So, 1, all right, I'll read. All right, 1. All right, which domain, so that's the x value, by the way, okay? The x value. which X value would be most appropriate use for a function that predicts the number of household online devices in terms of the number of people in the household? Okay, so meaning, right? Think of it like this. X stands for number of devices. Y stands for the number of people. All right, I'll just write PPL. All right. So think about it. Right now, they want to know the domain, so they want to know what the X value is. That's where our focus is on. All right. So now, what's the appropriate domain? What's the appropriate type of numbers for the number of devices? Is it integers? Is it whole numbers? Irrational numbers or rational numbers? Think about that. What do you think? Yeah, right? It's whole numbers. Why not integers? Yeah, you can't have negative number of devices, right? That would make no sense, right? Irrational, why not irrational numbers? Because they're like never non-terminating, non-repeating decimals. That's not true. And rational numbers, why not rational numbers? Yeah, the fractions, what you have like what, 1/3 of a device, okay, right? Even if you do word to share, you don't give someone 1/3 of your device, right? So that's how you do these. Okay, let me just press pause and glance at this and see if there's anything that needs to be mentioned. I really doubt it. Okay, so today's gonna be a pretty straightforward lesson. Okay, so you know what? Try these then. All right, try 2, 3, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, and then we will I'll show you the answer key. All right, I'll see which ones I need to go over with you, and then we'll do 5 more questions. Okay, so press pause right now. Okay, all right, and we're back. Now I have a couple of things I want to point out to you. I got 2 wrong initially because I got really caught up with the above or below sea level. I was like, oh yeah, like, you know, I'm so smart. I remember that above and sea level has negative numbers. And I totally forgot that's the letter Y, right? X, we're looking for X, guys. All right, we're looking for time. So they're positive real numbers, okay? Because you can't have negative time, right? But you can have real numbers that are continuous. So moreover, right? Look back at the chart, right? Real numbers. Right? They could be rational numbers, integers, so on and so forth, right? So that means that time is continuous. Okay, so that's why I picked that. 3, that's easy. Okay, all right. 7. Now I put a star around 4, choice 4 for number 7, right? Because it has to. So the product. So I know that it's not integers because that would include negative numbers, and you can't have negative products, right? Positive real numbers. Right, real numbers include fractions, so you can't have a fraction, you can't have a fraction, right, for a product. So is this, rational means fraction, right? So that only leaves you with whole numbers. Now you might say, wait, why whole numbers, right? Whole numbers are, look back at the chart, right? Whole numbers are right here. Whole numbers are all, what? Whole numbers are all natural numbers, including 0. So that's why this wouldn't be a natural number or integers. You see that? It's kind of like sandwich, right? Right between natural numbers and integers, right? Because it can be negative, right? But it also has to include 0, which natural numbers don't do, okay? So that's why it's choice 4, okay? Now, what's going on? 8, straightforward. 9, straightforward. Let me show you the next 5 questions, and then we'll be done for today. All right, so these are the 5. All right, so try these 5 right now, and then when you come back, I will go over it with you. Okay, so press pause right now. Okay, all right, so let's see. 4, 5, 6, super duper straightforward. Okay, the only thing is with number 6, I thought you can have 0 also. I thought it was gonna be greater than equal, but the other choices are so wrong that it makes 2 the best choice available. Because I keep thinking, well, you could technically like not download songs, right, and not pay for the song after you get a membership, right? So technically, like, you could download no songs at all, but it looks like that they would rather you pick this, okay? Which is fine. The other three choices are so bad, though, you know? 10, I want to go over that, all right? And then, as you already know, right, I gotta edit this 11 out because we're not ready for exponential function yet, not till the spring, actually. Now, this one is interesting because you're really just solving for t. And I figure that it would be good if you solve for t, but what you would end up doing is if you solve this as an equation where t goes 0, for example, right, I could just add 16t squared to both sides, okay? So 16t squared equals 144, divide both sides by 16. I believe we've actually seen this question before, okay? So that's 9, take the square root, right? So that's 3. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, right? Mr. Ring, I know you know, and I also know that you know that I know that the square root of 9 is positive or negative 3. But here's the question, that begs the question. Why is negative 3 not an acceptable answer for t, which stands for time? Why is that time can equal to 3 but not negative 3? Yeah, that's right, you can have negative time, so you have to pick like only this is acceptable. Okay, now you can have 0 seconds, right? And you can have, and then you can have at maximum, right? 3 seconds, so that's why. Okay, all right, so that wraps it up. How are we doing on time? Okay, not bad. All right, under 12. Okay, so that's good. What else do I have to tell you? So yeah, I'm gonna edit out number 11, and that's it. Okay, all right, thanks for watching. Have a good day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. OMG, that was so good.